Support for the Leadoff on WGLT and WGLT.org comes from the Central Illinois Regional Airport. Passengers can access air travel from Sierra with parking at no cost and at a location close to home. More at CIRA.com.
A change to Bloomington Fire Department staff schedules could cut workers' comp costs and reduce employee turnover. It's one of the things you need to know to start your day for Thursday, October 16th. I'm Ryan Denham, and this is WGLT's The Leadoff. Now let's lead off with ideas to rejuvenate a part of downtown Bloomington near where the old Front and Center building is being torn down. More from WGLT's Eric Stock.
When the city of Bloomington tears down the dilapidated former department store, it plans to use the space for parking in the short term. That's partly to replace parking lost as the Market Street garage is demolished.
We just believe that there is sometimes a poverty of imagination when it comes to what cities can look like.
Tyler Pessler is with the urban planning nonprofit Strong Towns Blono. Pessler says creating more street-level parking fits that description.
If it's a parking lot, it's just kind of going to sit there as bare land, and it won't bring anything of what we view as value back to the community.
Strong Towns Blono president Noah Tang says the group looks for creative and efficient ways to use public space, and it has been working on concepts for Front and Center and nearby properties that are also getting overhauled.
We don't just want to say, do this, right? We want to open that box for the city staff and city council to think about what can we do that is outside the box.
The group's ideas range from low intensity, such as public seating and restrooms and pop-up retail, to high intensity, think hotel and conference center and apartments. Strong Towns will unveil its proposals tonight at 6:30 at the Bloomington Public Library. With reporting from WGLT correspondent Michelle Steinbacher, I'm Eric Stock.
Here's some other stories we're following in the WGLT newsroom. Democratic state lawmakers condemned aggressive immigration raids that in recent weeks have resulted in violent clashes between federal agents and protesters in the Chicago area. But it remains uncertain whether their words yesterday will translate to legislative action during this fall veto session. OSF Healthcare is launching a virtual labor and delivery monitoring program across all of its hospitals with birthing units, including St. Joseph's in Bloomington. Human staff and AI-enhanced software will monitor laboring patients in real time. In Heartland Community College will host 3 free FAFSA workshops to help families apply for college financial aid. They will be October 28th, October 30th, and November 6th at Heartland's 3 campuses across Central Illinois. You can find more on these stories at WGLT.org. Starting next January, Bloomington firefighters will get an extra day off for every 24-hour shift they work. Currently, the firefighters in Bloomington are 24 hours on and 48 hours off. Bloomington Fire Chief Corey Matheny tells WGLT's Eric Stock the department has worked in 24-hour shifts for over a century and saw that now is the time to add a 4th daily shift.
What we've seen during that time is there's been a lot of research into the effects of shift work and the how it impacts the body, especially as firefighters and the demanding job that we have. And we really started looking as like, how can we help our members out with reducing the impacts of those effects? And so as we went through this negotiation process, it was brought to us by the union to look at the 2472 and see how we could implement that through a collaborative effort. We came up with a plan that makes this work for us, and I think it's going to be very beneficial to the entire department and to the community.
So it was the union that first raised this to administration. What was your initial reaction to the idea?
So yes, it was one of their initial proposals, and quite honestly, we didn't think it was anything that would ever happen, because when you start thinking about going from 3 shifts to 4, you would automatically think, well, we'd have to add an entire new shift, which for us, our minimum staffing every day to go out the door and staff all our vehicles is 29 people. So when we came back and said, we don't think we make that work, that's a huge impact on our budget, they said, well, hold on, we have a plan. And when we sat down and listened to what they were proposing, we said, well, this could make sense, because we had extra staffing every day to cover vacation time, personal leave, injuries. To offset the impact of having to fill those vacancies with overtime, we had extra full-time staffing. we're able to take 9 of those people every day and assign them to this new shift. And we were already overstaffed by 2 people just to help offset upcoming retirements. And that brought us to our 29 for that new shift without having to add any other staffing at this time.
Does that make it harder to fill each shift within a given day based on people that will be unable to work that day, missed shifts for whatever reason?
I don't believe so. I think it's going to make it easier. People are more rested. They've not had to just work a 48-hour shift. They've got more time off in between their shifts. So when the opportunity for overtime comes up, it's less impactful on them, on their families, and they still have plenty of time off with this new schedule to rest and recover and be ready for their normal shifts.
Do you anticipate there will be less overtime shifts needed?
That is the goal of this. Obviously, we can't predict workplace injuries and stuff like that, but with the reduced exposure, and we're talking about a 25% reduction in the things that they'll be exposed to just because of the way this is structured, they're going to respond on 25% less calls. So you would think their incidence of work-related injuries, repetitive injuries, should go down, and that would help offset the need for some overtime.
Are you aware of other fire departments in Illinois or across the country that have gone to a 24/72 model?
So we will be one of the largest departments in Illinois to go that route. Chicago Fire EMS currently runs this, and there's a few smaller departments in Southern Illinois that have made that recent transition. It's gained a lot of traction in other places throughout the nation. Florida comes to mind. I believe the governor there signed a legislative intent to encourage departments to go that way. I believe there was just a department in Kentucky and Tennessee that have made this change as well. So I think you're going to see a lot more departments looking at this, because we all like to talk about our most important asset as employers are our people. And this is a major investment in our people and making sure that they're healthy, they're rested, and that we can sustain them throughout their career.
That was Bloomington Fire Chief Corey Matheny speaking with WGLT's Eric Stock. You can hear the rest of their conversation at WGLT.org. Firefighters also get a 5% pay increase in a new labor agreement that the City Council approved this week. And that is it for today. I'm Ryan Denham, and the show was produced by Cheyenne Brown. You can subscribe to The Leadoff on the NPR app or wherever you get your podcasts.